Good day, boxing fans. Saturday night at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing in New York in the Big Apple. It's time for the two biggest stars, arguably, in women's boxing, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, to run back their encounter that they've had already twice. This is the rubber match. It's the trilogy. Katie Taylor defending all her world super lightweight or junior welterweight titles against another multi-weight champion, a big star female boxing, Amanda Serrano. Will it be any different this time round? If you're interested in breaking down the fight, then stick around. I'm a big fan of both these women, both Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. They've done a massive amount for the female fight game, elevating it to a point where few people thought it could go. And in a way, they're also fortunate that they have each other to form this great rivalry and other rivals in and around their weight division. That's a big drawback of Claressa Shields. She looked terrific a while back there against Savannah Marshall. But apart from that, she struggles to have marketable B-sides. She can just go up weight divisions where there's hardly any fighters. So Claressa Shields struggles in that respect. But Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor have each other and quite a few other ladies in those divisions. Now, first off, let me say, if Amanda Serrano gets beaten decisively by Katie Taylor on Saturday night, or if she never gets the nod on the judges' card, her performance against Katie Taylor in both those fights is nothing short of remarkable. If you keep in mind that Amanda Serrano, the last time I checked, is the undisputed featherweight champion, could have changed with the sanctioning bodies being what they are. But she's actually, her best weight is a featherweight, and she went up the first time to challenge Katie Taylor for the lightweight titles. She lost the razor-thin decision, had Katie Taylor in big trouble, had her badly hurt in the fifth round. And then in the last few rounds, Taylor came back when Serrano took her foot off the gas, or maybe she just let everything fly in that fifth round. And Taylor won a very close decision in the second fight into AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Amanda Serrano got a very bad cut over the eye as a result of a clash of heads. And it was yet again a very close fight. And it's one of those close fights that the losing team will always scream robbery. If you go and look at those fights, forget who you support, put off the sounds of it, you don't listen to the commentary, which I think can be quite biased either way, depending on who you listen to them, and just watch the fight, then you'll see there's not too much to choose between the ladies. One is sometimes more accurate, and then the other one's got the volume. Amanda Serrano, I think, always lands a more telling blows. That's what makes her performance really remarkable, that she's so high up in weight. Now the second fight, junior welterweight, and this fight as well. Amanda Serrano is out of a natural weight division, and she's noticeably smaller than Katie Taylor, and yet she's the one that packs her power. Now, not a lot of power punches in female boxing, and Amanda Serrano is one of them. And, it was hard to separate them, because if you just look at it casually, Katie Taylor looks like she's really making harder work of it than Amanda Serrano. Despite the blood, she looks sort of exhausted. Her mouth is hanging open. And Serrano has a very calm, serene look. She looks more solid, and that gives you a certain impression. But if you just go and watch the punches landed and so on, there's not too much to choose upon them. And, forget about the punch stats as well, because the judges don't have that. So they struggle to separate themselves from each other. And now it's back in third time around, and it's back in Madison Square Garden. Can Amanda Serrano finally get the W, or will it be Katie Taylor again? Now, Katie Taylor, what can she change? In the previous fight, the last fight, I agree with the advice that the trainer gave her there in between rounds. He told Katie Taylor, look, you're doing terrific work, you're landing these flurries, but then you stand right there and then you let her answer back. So every time Katie Taylor does something, Amanda Serrano comes roaring back, and Serrano's has got a bit more oomph on her punches, and that sways one's mind. And I think that was a mistake that Katie Taylor made in both these fights. you know, she can box very well, but she gets dragged into a brawl. That is what always sort of happens to her. It's seldom that she can stay on the toes and box, and that's what she has to do if she wants to win more convincingly than she did against Amanda Serrano. She needs to box. She needs to be on her toes. She needs to be more active with her jab, and she needs to move. You know, if she lands a flurry, she must step around. She must pull her hands straight back, because sometimes she leaves gaps. She lets her opponent retaliate. You know, she does go into these flurries, powerful combination, and then she stands there. And against Amanda Serrano, you really don't want to do that. You know, and another thing of Katie Taylor, she tends to headhunt a bit. You know, if I were use the jab to the body, use the jab to the head, you know, use the hooks to the body as well, and stay on your toes. Keep on changing the angles, and don't stand there in the pocket for long with Amanda Serrano, because that's her fight. So I think Katie Taylor can improve on her performance if she does these things. Now, the fact is, at this stage of her career, is she going to? Amanda Serrano, on the other hand, what can she do different, you know? And there, I don't see how she can do much different than she did in the previous fights. She's obviously the shorter girl. She's got to go and put the pressure on. She's got to put Katie Taylor in the corner, put Katie Taylor on the ropes, and work her over there, work that body, and make this a in-close fight. And the thing that she can do this time around, Katie Taylor does barge in head first. I don't know if it was on purpose in the second fight. She lost a point for that. Only she will know. It can just be a style, the way she comes in with her head like that. But what I would advise Serrano, you know, I remember years ago, one of our great champions in South Africa, Brian Mitchell, fought a guy called Jackie Beard, and these headbutts in the clinches opened up bad gashes over his eyes. It went to the scorecards. He got the technical decision. They had a rematch, and in the rematch, every time they would get in close or get into a clinch, Mitchell just turned his head away like that. So I think that's something Amanda Serrano can do differently to prevent that cut over her eye, because that must have bothered her, even though she handled it admirably. So when Katie Taylor comes into those clinches, turn your head away to the side once you are in the clinch. That might help a little bit, but it's something she's going to have to look out for. It's something that will depend on the referee, how the fight is being refereed. But that's that. So I think for Amanda Serrano to win, she's just got to do a bit more of what she did in the previous fights. So she's got to stay on it on every round, and she's got to close that gap and push Katie Taylor back to the ropes and into the corners, and just work her over. Try not to get cut, and try and keep doing that and hope for the best. I don't know what else Amanda Serrano can do, what she hasn't already done in those two fights. She's just going to not have to, she mustn't have these off rounds later where she sort of, you know, the work rate drops ever so slightly. So I don't think Amanda Serrano can do much more than that. And there are things that I think Katie Taylor can change, but I doubt if she will, you know. It's hard for me to think that a fighter changes so late in their career. So who is going to win? Guys, tell me in the comments below. You've got Katie Taylor here, you've got Amanda Serrano. Who wins, and how do they win, and why do you think so? And also tell me what you think about female boxing. Who are the fighters you follow? What do you think about Taylor, Serrano? What do you think about Claressa Shields? And who else in the female game of boxing do you watch that you think is worth looking out for? But Katie Taylor got the nod twice in these fights that they had. Sentimentally, you kind of hope that one goes Amanda Serrano's way, because she also put up such a great effort. But for me, it's hard for me to see it going much different than the previous two fights, because I think for Amanda Serrano to win, she's got to hope that these wars, the wear and tear, will catch up to Katie Taylor, because they've both had long careers, they've both been in wars. But I think Katie Taylor has got a bit more wear and tear on the tires, you know. So at some point along the line, you know, in between fight number 1 and fight number 2, Katie Taylor had a loss and a win, but she avenged against Chantal Cameron, so she can adjust in rematches. She did against Cameron, she did against Delphine Persoon. I don't know if she can can be on her feet and make the fight easier for herself. So I think it's going to be yet another close fight. I think Amanda Serrano is going to be dominant on the inside. I think Katie Taylor is going to be dominant on the outside. And I think, sadly, or good for the fans, but we're going to have another close fight where whoever loses is going to complain. And you know, it is taking place in Madison Square Garden. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans there. There's a lot of Irish there. You know, it didn't help Amanda Serrano the first time around. So, you know, it depends how much the Katie Taylor's got left in the tank. You know, it could be that Amanda Serrano also has wear and tear. She just still looks a bit fresher to me than Katie Taylor, but that's also, as I've said, how the fighters look. Katie Taylor with an open mouth, you know, breathing hard. She doesn't look as solid as Amanda Serrano, but you've got to forget about that. It's not a beauty contest. You've got to look at the punches that's being thrown. She flurries a lot. She's busy with her hands, even though it doesn't always hit so cleanly. So my gut feel, you know, this fight can honestly go either way, but I'm thinking Katie Taylor is going to win yet another decision, yet another close decision in a Madison Square Garden, perhaps a split decision. But that's just the gut feel. It can really go either way, which makes it a fight to watch. Well, that's it from me. Good luck to both these female warriors Saturday night in Madison Square Garden. Thank you for what the two of you have done for female boxing, and I'm a big fan of both of them. To me, it really doesn't matter who wins. Boxing will be the winner. So that's it from me, and until I see you guys again, remember to keep those hands up.